And we're back. Did you miss me? Of course you did. My name's Dusty Thompson. We're reading my book, Almost Odis. Buy your copy on Amazon and also subscribe below for to get updated whenever I post new videos. If you're following along, we are on page 220. The blog dated Wednesday, December the 5th, 2012, rhymes with Google. This past week, I had the opportunity to visit Stanford University's campus for a lecture series. As they are located about 2 miles from my office, it is a convenient way to learn new things without signing up for an actual class, which I will only do if Condoleezza Rice is the instructor. She used to go to my church when I lived in Menlo Park. Her and her security guard. This speaker was going to discuss emotional intelligence, and I am all about self-betterment through knowledge. I headed there straight from work and surmised, based on the number of people who knew the location of the School of Education, the next great generation of teachers is matriculating elsewhere. Literally no one knew where the education building was. I had to ask the gardener. Before I took my seat, I had to take a rest, so I found a room specifically designed for such activities. When I finished my business and was washing my hands, I noticed the gentleman at the next sink was cleansing his hands with the dedication of a surgeon about to operate. Having worked in healthcare for the last 15 years, I practice proper hand hygiene, and after I dried my hands with a towel, I kept it for use as a protection when I opened the door to exit. This gentleman instead grabbed the door handle with his bare hands and held it open for me. Then he smiled, this maniacal smile, and I thought, good Lord, I hope he's not the speaker, and I chuckled to myself. Not surprisingly, I entered the auditorium, and there sits Mr. Nasty Hands in a lotus position in a chair with his shoes and socks removed, grinning wildly, waiting to fill our minds with glitter hugs dipped in rainbows, I imagine. But as I am not one to judge, I decided to see what he had to say. After all, he is an executive with an internationally known and respected company. I won't say which one, but it rhymes with Google. I think they're called Alphabet now, but whatever. He starts to talk and mentions he's a Buddhist, which was unexpected as he spent the first 10 minutes or so talking about how awesome he is, and based on my limited information about Buddhism, didn't think arrogance was one of the basic tenets. Although based on the activities of the Dalai Lama, celebrity stalking might be. However, he made a statement that got my attention. He shared he was listening to a Buddhist nun, and in the instant she said a particular phrase, he became a Buddhist. This must be some phrase, I thought. It was, the answers are all inside of you. Yes, that's what he said. Glitter hugs indeed. What he said next confirmed the opinion that I needed to exit. He said, in that moment, I understood everything. And he wasn't kidding. Well, it was more than I could take, so I quietly left the auditorium and headed to Starbucks to get my venti black iced tea with 3 Splenda and no water, and pondered this preening donkey's statement. He knew everything, huh? Well, you don't know proper hand hygiene, well, that's for sure. You don't know the proper footwear for public speaking, which is actual shoes. You don't know how goofy you sound, and that's just off the top of my head. But it got me thinking, would I even want to know everything? Kate Blanchett at the end of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull learned everything from that big old alien whatever, and all I got hurt was an exploded head. No thanks. I know lots of things, most of which don't matter to anyone, but which help me win at trivia consistently. However, I do know lots of things I wish I didn't. So I decided to compile a list. I wish I didn't know what Coca-Cola tastes like with the cigarette ashes in it, thanks to the dad in 1978. Number 2, how to haul hay or hoe cotton. Indentured servitude, y'all. My childhood was really, really, really rough. The 2 weeks we did that. I actually hauled hay for 2 summers. It was brutal. I got paid $10 one time. Rude. Number 3, how a pickled pig lip taste. Stacy Morgan from Tylertown. Hey, Stacy. And I shared this experience at the concession stand at the track meet. They're gross. They taste like an autopsy. Number 4, I know there's a 24-hour gay bar in Birmingham, Alabama. It's super fun, but you shouldn't be doing anything 24 hours a day. I wish I didn't know acid wash jeans sometimes disintegrate while you're wearing them, which happened to me in 1987. How to involuntarily cliff dive on a trip to Canada. Full disclosure, involuntarily means they pushed me off the cliff. I am still ticked, and that was in 1993. I will go to my grave irritated. They pushed me off an 80-foot cliff. And you know when I hit the water, I just kept going. It's not like I was going to stop and float. I'm not skinny or filled with air. I wish I didn't know what it feels like to avoid walking past storm drains at night because the movie Stephen King's It messed me up, y'all, for real. I still can't walk by a storm drain in the daytime. I'm just saying. I wish I didn't know what it feels like to be forced to watch overweight middle-aged hippies make out to progressive art rock songs that last 25 minutes each while waiting for Yes, the band, to play their one-hit song, and then they don't. Adam Hummel was there with me. It was brutal, y'all. Brutal. I wish I didn't know that liver gets bigger when you chew it. That's messed up. I wish I didn't know the feeling you get when your calf is the only competitor in its category at the county fair and it still comes in third place. That really happened. I wish I didn't know what it feels like to go tubing down the Bogachita River for 8 hours in 1988 with no sunscreen and end up with burns so bad you miss all but one of your high school senior parties. So sad. I wish I didn't know what it feels like to watch the third Twilight movie. It was horrible. And my niece Peyton, hey Peyton, told me it was the best of the three so far, which made me think the other two have to be really, really horrible because Eclipse was bad. I'm Team Alice, by the way. I wish you didn't know what it felt like to play football against your will in junior high. See my YouTube video, funniest leadership speech ever. I wish I didn't know the dimmer switch on a 77 Plymouth Volare is on the floor by your left foot. Oh yeah, it's cool. I wish I didn't know what it feels like to hitchhike after you hit a deer on New Year's Eve and catch a ride with a man in a Ford Pinto station wagon with the passenger door roped shut through a hole in the roof, who ends up being the uncle of your cousin's boyfriend. Yes, that means you, Bruce Kennedy, and Kendra, who is now Kendra Entrop. Don't you love when I bring up your past? And I think that's enough of that, don't you? And we're going to end right there. See you next time.